The world of Gielinor, an open world with endless possibilities. A vast landscape where people play old school Runescape in a large variety of ways. There's people who can't trade, can't use a bank, unlock Runescape one tile at a time, or want to achieve things that nobody has ever seen, like speedrunning to max level in all skills. But we're not going to be doing any of that. Clue scrolls are easily some of my favorite content in old school Runescape. If you're unfamiliar with clue scrolls, they're essentially a giant treasure hunt all across Gielinor. There are various ways to obtain clue scrolls, like combat and skilling, and once you obtain the clue scroll, you must complete various clues, puzzles, and riddles until eventually you receive a reward casket. Clues range in difficulty from beginner, which are the easiest, up to master, which are the most difficult to complete. With increasing difficulty, the rewards also become much more valuable. I've been watching a series by Flutton, an old school RuneScape Twitch streamer and YouTuber. She plays a Tileman account, which unlocks RuneScape one tile at a time, and progresses by collecting clue scrolls and finishing the clue step no matter what she has to do to complete it. Her series sparked an idea in my little brain.
I must discover this world's greatest treasures.
Introducing Carl Caskets. He has a crippling addiction to exploring the world of Gielinor and finding hidden reward caskets. He even changed his last name because he loves them so much. Carl is a hardcore explorer, but he's also greedy, doesn't want help from others, and wants to keep all the treasure for himself, which is why he's a hardcore Ironman. Also, if it isn't about treasure, he's absolutely not interested, which is why he doesn't waste time doing things that don't impede his treasure trailing adventures. Let's start with the rules for this account. Carl is a hardcore Ironman. This means he cannot trade or receive items from other players. Additionally, he only has one life, and dying will result in being downgraded to a standard Ironman. The only way this account will progress is through completing clue scrolls, starting with beginner clues and working up to master. This means that the only way to complete quests, obtain items, or train my skills is when the clue step dictates I must do so. For example, I can't complete the Bon Voyage quest until I get the medium clue step requiring I travel to Fossil Island. I can't obtain a fire cape until I get the master clue step requiring I equip it. This rule also applies to training skills. Only clue steps and quest requirements will allow me to train to the required skill levels. There are some exceptions to this rule. If I get a quest like Dragon Slayer that requires 32 quest points to begin, I will complete quests in the same clue tier to get to 32 quest points, because I would need to complete them anyways for other clues in that tier. The other exception is I will have to train combat skills to obtain my clue scrolls via killing monsters. I will allow myself to train melee, ranged, magic, and prayer while obtaining clues. Additionally, I will be starting with beginner clues and working my way up to master clues, which means that until I have unlocked every beginner clue step, I will not progress to easy clues. Until I unlock every easy clue step, I will not do medium clues, and so on. Rule number 3, the only weapons and armor I am allowed to use are those earned from clue rewards and those required for clue step completion. This means at the start, I will have to drop all items from Tutorial Island. Exceptions are items required to complete quests, runes, ammunition, food, and potions. Carl wouldn't be able to survive or progress without those things. Items and loot I get from monsters that are not clue related, I am allowed to sell to the general store or turn into gold myself using alchemy spells. For the fourth and final rule, I am not allowed to skip any clue steps, including those located in the wilderness or requiring an item obtained in the wilderness. Carl Caskets is hardcore, but he's also not scared of exploring areas requiring a little risk. He's truly addicted and will stop at nothing to find all of Gielinor's hidden treasures. There is a small exception to this rule. Certain clue steps require items that can only be obtained by completing clues. For example, a rune heraldic shield is a requirement for a hard clue step, but is also rewarded from hard clues. In the event that this scenario occurs, I will be forced to drop the clue scroll. However, if the item is from a lesser clue step tier, I will grind out the lesser tier until I get that item. For example, there is a hard clue step that requires a headband, which can be obtained from medium clues. At that point, I will have all medium clue steps unlocked and have the ability to grind medium clues until I earn a headband. One more look at the account rules here, and we're off. Honestly, I'm not even sure if an account like this is really possible. Later down the line, I could get destroyed by some very challenging grinds, requiring items from killing God Wars dungeon bosses in very low level gear. But honestly, I don't really care. This account is about having fun and exploring the world in a new creative way. I'm looking forward to unlocking all the world's treasures and later on seeing how we can push the boundaries of the game on an account entirely dependent on clues and random luck. So let's see where this journey takes us. Alright, this is definitely what Carl Caskets is gonna look like. I really tried to go for like a Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones type vibe, and I think I did, you know, I did a job here. He looks good. Carl has made it through Tutorial Island. He's got his hardcore status and he's ready. Let's just drop all the equipment other than runes, ammo, and food, and we'll get right to brass tacks. Because I'm allowing myself to get runes and ammunition on the account, I can claim the free runes every half an hour from the magic tutor. I cannot claim the arrows or the bow from the range tutor because the bow is obviously a weapon and the training arrows can only be used with that bow. Let's talk about beginner clues a little bit. The goblins drop beginner clues at a rate of 1 in 64, which really isn't too bad. It's one of the better drop rates, and goblins aren't super hard to kill. Right now, they're kind of a struggle because I have no weapons, no armor, and I'm just punching or kicking goblins, but once I get a weapon or something, that'll go a lot easier. I'm super excited to get my first beginner clue scroll because this early in the account, almost anything I get from a beginner clue can be a huge reward. There's just such a massive amount of upgrades. I could get a large variety of black and steel weapons and armor. I could get my first bow, which means I could start training my ranged, and a variety of different magic staves, which could end up saving me a lot of runes. There are also a bunch of uniques that you can get from beginner clues, but honestly, they're mostly cosmetic upgrades. I mean, the amulet of defense trimmed would be pretty cool, but for the most part, I'm just really hoping for weapons and armor to make surviving against these extremely powerful goblins a little bit easier. Carl Caskets got attack level 3 and combat 4. We're moving up in the world already. This is just such a simple thing that everyone who's played RuneScape has probably done, is killing goblins in Lumbridge. Listening to like the Lumbridge music so far, I'm like reliving what I did when I was like freaking 8 years old playing RuneScape, just killing goblins. It's so nostalgic for me. I mean, I don't think when I was a kid I was punching the goblins or kicking them, but I mean, you know what I mean. A little bit of a close call, but I'm currently 1 HP and I'm out of food, so I don't really have a way of getting food right now. I can't fish or cook. Oh my god. Run. The goblin freaking chased me. Oh my god, that was insanely close. Oh my freaking goodness. First random event. Oh, he just gave me a present. He gave me a kebab. Oh my god. Thank you, random event. I can... Wow, that saves me 6 minutes. I can go and fight goblins again. So since I'm a hardcore and I really don't want to die this early, I'm gonna wait anytime I'm at 4 HP, because sometimes these goblins actually just start beating the crap out of me. I just don't want to die, so I'm gonna wait until I'm at least 7 HP. Level 5 combat off a prayer level. Carl Caskets is becoming Carl Caskets the champion. I don't know. He's a beast though. 6 combat. I just hit 5. I didn't even notice the beginner clue on the ground. Oh my god. That's my first one. Oh, I'm so excited. My first beginner clue. So much potential. All right, let's see what our first step is. Hairdresser in Western Falador. No requirements for that. I just gotta get to Falador. So now that we've obtained our first beginner clue scroll, I think it's a good time to talk about the requirements we're gonna have to complete before moving on to easy clues. There are no quests you have to complete, so that won't happen until we start easy clues. But I'm gonna need 20 cooking to cook both trout and pike, 25 fishing to fish for raw herring, trout, and pike, 18 crafting to craft a leather body and chaps, and then 15 mining and smithing to mine iron ore, as well as smith my own iron dagger. There are also a few items I'm gonna need for certain emote clues as well, but I'm gonna obtain those whenever I actually need them, rather than just getting them ahead of time. Gonna be a 1-step clue on the first one, or is we're gonna see a second step? Okay, we've got a second step. Speak to Reldo. Okay, so it's a hot and cold step. We're gonna have to go to Varrock to talk to Reldo. There's actually a spade spawn in the Varrock general store on the 2nd floor, which I had no idea. So I'm gonna quickly describe how these hot and clue steps work. So first you have to talk to Reldo to get this strange device. Then he gives it to you. You can keep it in your bank after he gives it to you the first time, so you don't have to go to him every time, which is great. You feel the strange device and it gives you a list of possible locations of where the next clue step or casket might be. What you do is you try to go to these locations, you feel the strange device again, and it tells you that it's either hotter or colder. So it's literally a game of hot and cold. You just have to find where it's going to be. Luckily, with the Clue Scroll plugin, it's super helpful, and it kind of just tells you that it's going to be right here. Casket, or clue step number 3. It's a casket. Oh my gosh, this is so much potential. I'm so excited. I've never been so excited to open a freaking beginner clue. All right, I'm gonna stand next to Veronica while I open this to show off my sexy loot. Okay, shrimps. Shrimps is good. That's some food we can use. 3 law runes, that's nice for teleporting. And an oak longbow. Okay. Can I equip this? Oh man, I need 5 range first. I can't even use this yet. That's our first loot from the beginner clue. Unfortunately, I mean, some of it's useful, but we can use the oak longbow eventually. Hey, we got the first one done. Hopefully the next one gives us a little better loot, but for now, we go back to kicking some goblin ass. And with that clue, we did check off a couple of clue steps. In the future clues, hopefully we get some different clue steps just so we can do every beginner clue step. Even if it doesn't have a requirement, I want to finish every clue step before going to easy clue, just because that's the nature of the account, man. It's about exploring. It's about checking everywhere for all this treasure and seeing what we can find. This is going to be my beginner clue reward tab, and this would be everything else. Carl Caskets is very confused at what's happening in the free-to-play worlds today. He's just following this guy around. Look at this. Look at how long this line of people is. What? Free-to-play is insane, man. 7 combat. Ooh. 8 combat. 9 defense, 9 combat. Yes, beginner clue scroll number 2. Oh, I'm doing so well too. 87 goblins for number 2. That is so good. Let's see what the step is. Oh, I just have to go there. Okay, cool. Beginner clue step number 4 unlocked. Let's see. Okay, no instant casket. Charlie the Tramp. Okay, so this is very likely gonna be our first skilling grind of the account, which is kind of exciting. I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to this one. This is a big moment. What do I gotta do, Charlie the Tramp? What do you need from me? Iron dagger. Okay, that means I gotta get 15 mining to mine iron ore, and then I gotta get 15 smithing to smith the iron dagger. Let's get started. I'm actually really excited for this. I'm super excited. I could easily just go to Lumbridge and pick up the iron dagger in the little shack where the goblins are, but I'm ready to go and mine and do this on my own. Bronze pickaxe obtained. Yeah, I know. There's an iron dagger right. Well, there was an iron dagger right there until Wuzzy Gimp picked it up. We're doing this the old-fashioned way. I was gonna go to Lumbridge to use the mine there, but this account's all about having fun and nostalgia, so we're doing this in Varrock, man. We're going to the freaking Varrock East Mine to do this shit. I'm so excited. And that's 15 mining. That was so quick, actually. I honestly expect that to take longer. It took probably less than an hour to get 15. We can mine the iron ore that we need to make into an iron dagger. So let's go smith all this copper and tin and see which smithing level we get to. Okay, so unfortunately I'm completely out of bronze bars and I'm only 10 smithing, but I have a plan. Let's see if this plan will work. Oh, you have to be a member for this shop? Oh man, I was gonna see if I could just buy bronze bars. I'm gonna have to just go mine more copper and tin. I need about 90 more bronze bars to get to 15 smithing. So some people might be thinking, at this point I'm kind of breaking the rules of my series. You know, I said I wasn't allowed to train skills unless a clue step dictated that I did so, and technically I'm going beyond my 15 mining requirement that I need to do this clue step, but since I have no other way of obtaining bronze bars or any way of training smithing, the clue step still dictates I need 15 smithing. So because of that requirement, it's okay for me to train mining past the level that's required. I'd rather break the 15 mining limit, I guess, than just straight up have to drop a clue step. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. So 16,
17,
18. After doing some quick maths, which you know, could absolutely be wrong. You know, I'm not a mathematician or anything. But I will need to smelt and smith 60 bronze bars into different kinds of bronze equipment, and that should get me the 15 smithing I need. 19. I don't know if even as a kid I ever mined this much copper and tin with a bronze pickaxe. When I was a kid, I would upgrade my pickaxe as soon as possible. I'd get like steel or myth, and as soon as I hit 15, I would start doing iron ore. This is kind of a nostalgic and a new experience at the same time, and I'm honestly I'm having a great time doing this. This is so chill. You guys haven't tried this out, you should consider this. This is a great time, man. 20! Yeah, that should total up to 60 of each ore. Oh, 15 smithing, finally the level we needed for iron daggers. Now that we have the mining and smithing levels, time to go mine some iron ore and make ourselves an iron dagger. Mined a few iron ore, hopefully I don't. I think it's statistically extremely low that I failed to make a single iron bar. Please, just one of these 10 needs to be an iron bar. Nice, okay, we got it. Oh shoot. Oh no. I don't have the clue on me. Good thing I had one extra iron bar. Oh man. I'll be right back. I completely forgot that you actually don't have to have the clue on you. Alright, we give him the dagger and he gives us our second casket. Yes. I'm not gonna lie, this casket actually took me like 3 hours to end up getting. That was a big clue step to unlock, but we finally got it. Let's see what's in the box. Oh my gosh. What could be in the beginner casket that elicited such a powerful gasp? You'll just have to find out on the next episode of